Ladies and gentlemen, stop taking your worries to bed. You are making a fatal mistake every single night. You think that when you close your eyes, the work is done, but Florence Scovel Shinn taught us that the moment your conscious mind goes offline, your subconscious mind punches the clock. It never sleeps. It never stops building your reality. And right now, you are giving it blueprints of anxiety, debt, and fear to build while you rest. Stop it. Tonight, we are going to fire the worry and hire the divine. We are going to let the universe work the night shift. If you want to wake up in a new tax bracket, you need to listen to every second of this. You must understand the mechanics of your own mind before you can master your money. The mind is divided into three parts: the subconscious, the conscious, and the superconscious. The subconscious mind is simply power without direction. It is like steam or electricity, and it does exactly what it is directed to do. It has no power of induction. Whatever you feel deeply or image clearly is impressed upon the subconscious mind and carried out in minutest detail. It is the faithful servant. But the conscious mind has been called mortal or carnal mind. It is the human mind that sees life as it appears to be. It sees death, disaster, sickness, poverty, and limitation of every kind, and impresses the subconscious. This is where the trouble begins, especially at night. When you lie down in your bed, your defenses are down. The conscious mind, which is the reasoning mind, starts to replay the tape of the day. You think about the bill that came in the mail. You think about the client who said no. You think about the price of groceries. You replay these scenes of lack over and over again on the screen of your mind. As you drift into the twilight state between wakefulness and sleep, you are in a state of auto-hypnosis. This is the most dangerous or the most powerful time of your entire 24-hour cycle. If you drift off to sleep feeling poor, you are commanding your faithful servant, the subconscious, to create more poverty for tomorrow. You are essentially saying to the universe, I am worried, so please arrange my affairs to create more things to worry about. Florence Scovel Shinn taught us a better way. She taught us the law of non-resistance and the art of casting the burden. She said that it is impossible for you to handle your burdens alone. You must cast them on the superconscious mind, or the Christ within, where they are dissolved. The night shift is the perfect time to do this. You cannot fix your financial problems with the same tired, anxious brain that created them. You need a higher power. You need the infinite intelligence that knows the way out of every wilderness. So, how do we practically let the universe work the night shift? It begins with a decision to stop playing the victim. When you get into bed tonight, you must visualize yourself entering a sanctuary. Leave the world outside the bedroom door. The first step is to clear the slate. You cannot plant new seeds in a garden full of weeds. The weeds are your resentments and your fears. Before you close your eyes, you must forgive. Forgive the person who owes you money. Forgive the boss who didn't give you a raise. Forgive yourself for the mistakes you made with your finances in the past. Resentment is a barrier that shuts out the flow of supply. Say to yourself, I forgive everyone and everyone forgives me. The gates are open for my good. Once the slate is clear, you must place your order. You would not go to a restaurant, order a meal, and then run into the kitchen to try and cook it yourself. You place the order and you trust the chef. The universe is the great chef. Tonight you are going to place an order for abundance. You are going to speak a word of command. Florence often gave us affirmations that act like spiritual dynamite to break up the rocks of lack. As you lay your head on the pillow, you must speak to the infinite spirit. You might say, Infinite Spirit, I cast the burden of my financial lack onto the Christ within. I go free to have a peaceful sleep, and I wake up to a new day of miracles. You must feel the relief of it. This is the secret. It is not enough to just say the words, you must feel the click. The click is that moment when the knot in your stomach unties. It is the moment when you realize that the battle is not yours but God's. When you cast the burden, you are literally handing the heavy weight of your debt and your worry over to a power that can handle it. Imagine you are carrying a heavy suitcase full of rocks. Now imagine handing that suitcase to a giant who can lift it with one finger. That is what you are doing spiritually. You are saying, I cannot manage this, but you can. Now as you drift off, you must set the vibrational tone for the night. Do not let your mind wander back to the problem. If the worry tries to creep back in, treat it like an unwanted intruder. Say to the thought, I have cast this burden. It is no longer mine. I stand still and see the salvation of the Lord. Then turn your attention to the solution. But here is the trick. Do not try to figure out how the money will come. The reasoning mind wants to know the how. It wants to know if the money will come from a lottery win, a raise, or a refund. But the reasoning mind is limited. The universe has channels of supply that you cannot even imagine. Instead of focusing on the how, focus on the end. See yourself wealthy. But more importantly, feel yourself wealthy. Catch the mood of having the money. What would you feel if you had $10,000 in your bank account right now? You would feel safe. You would feel secure. You would feel generous. You would feel at peace. Take that feeling into sleep with you. Wrap yourself in that feeling like a warm blanket. This feeling is the instruction manual you are handing to the night shift worker. You are telling your subconscious, this is who I am. Build this for me by morning. While you are sleeping, your conscious mind is out of the way. This is good, because your conscious mind is full of doubts and fears. It is the watchman at the gate. And often it blocks your blessings because it says that's impossible. But when the watchman is asleep, the subconscious can work unhindered. It begins to rearrange the events of your life. It sends telepathic messages to the people who can help you. It aligns you with opportunities. It works on the plane of the invisible to manifest the visible. It is knitting together the fabric of your tomorrow based on the yarn you gave it tonight. But what happens if you wake up in the middle of the night? We all know the terror of the 3 a.m. wake-up call. The room is dark, the house is quiet, and suddenly the demon of fear sits on your chest. You start doing the math. You start counting the bills. You start spiraling into catastrophe. This is the testing ground. This is where most people fail. They take back the burden. They pick up the suitcase of rocks and start carrying it again. If you wake up in the night with fear, you must treat it as a lie. Florence Scovel Shinn taught us that fear is just inverted faith. It is faith in evil instead of faith in good. You must immediately flip the script. Do not lay there and entertain the monsters. You must speak the word. In the silence of your room, whisper to yourself, God is my supply, and big, happy financial surprises are coming to me under grace in perfect ways. Repeat it like a lullaby. Do not fight the fear, replace it. Turn your attention to the spirit. Thank the universe that the work is being done. Say thank you that while I sleep, you are working. Thank you that the solution is already on its way. You must understand that money is a spiritual idea. It is the divine substance. It is not evil. It is not scarce. There is no shortage of air. There is no shortage of sunshine, and in the divine mind, there is no shortage of money. The only shortage is in your own consciousness. By using your sleep time to reprogram your consciousness, you are tapping into the infinite reservoir of wealth. You are breaking the mesmerism of lack. Consider the story Florence told of the woman who needed a specific sum of money by a certain date. Every night, instead of worrying, she would bless the money she had and bless the money that was coming. She would go to sleep, giving thanks for the perfect outcome. She refused to let her eye see the lack. She walked by faith, and she slept in faith. And on the very day the money was due, it arrived from a source she never could have predicted. This is the law. The law does not fail. If you do your part, the universe must do its part. Your part is to keep the channel open. Worry closes the channel. Fear clogs the pipe. Faith and gratitude open the channel wide. When you wake up in the morning, this is the second most critical time. Your first thought upon waking sets the trajectory for your day. Do not reach for your phone. Do not check your email. Do not check your bank balance. Not yet. Before you move, lie in bed and claim your good. Say, I possess the land the Lord my God has given me. The land is your prosperity, your health, your happiness. Imagine that while you slept, invisible workers were building a bridge for you. Now in the morning you are ready to walk across it. Expectancy is the key. You must live in a state of happy expectancy. If you ordered a package online, you would expect it to arrive. You wouldn't sit by the window crying, wondering if it's coming. You would know it's coming. You would go about your day, treat your financial prayer the same way. You placed the order last night. Now go about your day knowing it is on the way. There is a concept called chemicalization. Sometimes when you start this practice, things might seem to get worse before they get better. Do not panic. Suppose you start affirming well, and suddenly you get an unexpected bill. This is just the mud being stirred up from the bottom of the pool so it can be cleared away. Florence called this the darkness before the dawn. She said, "Stand still and see the salvation of the Lord." Standing still doesn't mean doing nothing. It means keeping your poise. It means refusing to be moved by appearances. Even if your bank account says 0, you must know that your spiritual bank account is full, and the physical manifestation is inevitable if you do not waver. So, tonight, I challenge you. Do not waste another night of your life on worry. Worry is a sin against yourself. It is a misuse of your imagination. You have been given a divine gift, the power to imagine, to imagine. Use that power to see what you want, not what you don't want. The universe is waiting for your command. It is standing by, ready to take the night shift. But you must sign the contract. A contract is faith. As you prepare for bed tonight, perform a ritual of release. Physically wash your face and imagine you are washing away the doubts of the day. Put on fresh clothes and imagine you are dressing for a royal sleep. Lie down and tell your body to relax. Tell your mind to be still. And then, speak your word. I am now open and receptive to the rich, divine ideas that will flood my consciousness while I sleep. I am one with the infinite intelligence that knows no obstacle. I cast every burden, every debt, every fear onto the divine. I am free. I am rich. I am healthy. I am happy. Let the universe work the heavy machinery. You are not meant to carry the world on your shoulders. You are a child of the King, and the King looks after his own. Your supply is not limited to your job, your salary, or the economy. Your supply is God, and God is never asleep. God is never late. God is never broke. Trust the darkness. The seed grows in the darkness of the soil before it shoots up into the light. Your wealth is growing in the darkness of your subconscious mind. Do not dig it up with doubt. Water it with faith. Let it be, let it grow. You wake up tomorrow, look for the signs. Follow the hunches. Florence Scovel Shinn taught that intuition is the voice of the infinite. You might wake up with a sudden idea to call someone, or to go somewhere, or to buy something. Follow that lead. That is the universe handing you the paycheck you earned while you slept. It might not look like money at first. It might look like an opportunity, a coincidence, or a chance meeting. But if you follow the breadcrumbs of intuition, they will lead you straight to the treasure house. Stop struggling. Stop fighting. The battle is not yours. The only thing you need to fight is your own doubt. The only thing you need to conquer is your own fear. And the best way to conquer fear is to forget it and turn your attention to the light. The night is your friend. Sleep is your spiritual workshop. Tonight, when you turn out the light, remember this: you are not turning off the power. You are switching power sources. You are switching from the limited, tired battery of your conscious will to the infinite, inexhaustible generator of the universal mind. Plug in, let go, and wake up rich. Imagine if you had an employee who was willing to work for you 8 hours a night for free with infinite intelligence and absolute power. An employee who could solve your business problems, clear your debt, and line up checks for you while you slept. You do have this employee. It is your subconscious mind, connected to the infinite intelligence of the universe. But instead of giving it a job to do, you are giving it a burden to carry. Florence Scovel Shinn called this casting the burden. Tonight, I am going to show you how to hand over your financial struggles to the universe before your head hits the pillow. It is time to let God take the night shift. You must understand that the mind is not a single solid block, but a mechanism of 3 gears. There is the subconscious, the conscious, and the superconscious. The subconscious is simply power like steam or electricity. It has no direction of its own. It is like a faithful dog that will run wherever you throw the ball. If you throw the ball into a dark ditch, the dog runs into the ditch. If you throw the ball into a field of flowers, the dog runs into the flowers. The conscious mind is the one throwing the ball. It is the reasoning mind, the human mind, The mind that looks at your bank account and says there is not enough. And the superconscious mind is the realm of perfect ideas. It is the divine design. It is the realm where you are already rich, already healthy, and already free. Most people spend their days looking at lack. They stare at the bills. They talk about the high prices. They worry about the future. By doing this, they are throwing the ball into the ditch over and over again. And the faithful servant, the subconscious, runs into the ditch to bring back more mud, more debt, and more struggle. But the most critical time to stop this cycle is at night, when you lay your head on the pillow. The conscious mind begins to fade. The reasoning, fighting, struggling mind gets tired. This is the moment of magic. This is the moment when the door to the workshop is left open. Whatever thought you carry through that door becomes the blueprint for the next day. If you fall asleep worrying about money, you are literally commanding your subconscious to create financial blocks for you tomorrow. You are signing a work order that says, please arrange for more stress and more scarcity. You must stop this immediately. Tonight we are going to change the work order. We are going to use the law of non-resistance. Florence taught us that you cannot fight a battle and win it, because the very act of fighting affirms the reality of the enemy. If you fight debt, you are saying the debt is real and powerful. Instead, you must stand aside and let the universe fight for you. This is what it means to cast the burden. Picture your problem as a heavy physical weight. Imagine your debt, your lack of sales, your need for a job, as a massive stone sack on your back. You have been carrying it all day. Your shoulders are tired. Your spirit is exhausted. Now, as you sit on the edge of your bed, imagine the invisible hands of the infinite reaching down. You take that heavy sack off your shoulders and you hand it over. You do not just put it down. You hand it up. You say, I cast this burden of financial lack on the Christ within, and I go free to be rich. You must feel the physical relief. If you do not feel the relief, you have not cast the burden. You are still holding onto the strap of the bag. You must let go. You must trust that the superconscious mind has a way out that you cannot see. The reasoning mind sees a wall. The superconscious mind sees a door. When you sleep, you are stepping out of the way so the superconscious can unlock that door. Think of your sleep as a time of spiritual chemicalization. When you put a dirty garment into the wash, the water gets muddy. It is being cleaned. When you hand your problems to the universe at night, the divine energy goes to work scrubbing your consciousness. It dissolves the fear. It dissolves the blocks. It rearranges the chessboard of your life so that checkmate becomes victory. But you must be disciplined. The minute you turn out the light, the old thoughts will try to creep back in. They are like wolves circling the campfire. They will whisper, but how will you pay the rent? But what if the client leaves? You must not entertain these guests. You must slam the door in their faces. You do this by speaking the word. Your word is your wand. In the darkness of your room, you wave that wand. You whisper to yourself, the universe is my supply, and my supply is endless. You say, I am now under the law of grace, and my own comes to me in a miraculous way. You repeat this until it becomes a rhythm, a lullaby. You are hypnotizing yourself into greatness. You are brainwashing yourself with the truth, washing away the dirt of the lie. The lie is poverty. The truth is abundance. There is a powerful technique Florence used called the visualization of the end. Do not try to visualize how the money comes. That is meddling. That is trying to micromanage God. You do not tell the master architect how to mix the mortar. You simply look at the finished building. As you drift off, see yourself holding the check. See yourself shaking hands on the deal. See yourself looking at your bank balance and feeling a sense of deep, warm security. Capture the mood. Manifestation is not just seeing, it is feeling. The feeling is the fuel. If you can fall asleep with a smile on your face, knowing that it is done, you have succeeded. You have given the employee the right instructions. Now, while you are unconscious, the subconscious mind connects with the universal mind. It reaches out across the invisible network of life. It touches the mind of the person who has your money. It touches the mind of the person who has your opportunity. It aligns circumstances. It prepares the way. Often people ask, but what if I wake up in the middle of the night in a panic? This is the test. The 3 a.m. terror is the old consciousness trying to reclaim its territory. It is the ego dying. The ego screams loudest before it dies. If you wake up in fear, do not lie there and let the thoughts spin. Sit up if you must. Break the pattern. Speak out loud. Say, I rebuke this fear. God is my shepherd, I shall not want. Remind yourself that the night shift is working. Imagine that while you are lying there, invisible forces are moving mountains for you. Say to yourself, even now, while I rest, the perfect plan is unfolding. I do not need to worry because God is on the shift. Then, gently, like a child, turn your attention back to the feeling of relief. It is also vital to understand the concept of the divine design. You are not just asking for money to be greedy. You are asking for the resources that belong to your divine design. Every person has a perfect pattern in the mind of God, a place where they are happy, wealthy, and expressing their unique talent. When you are broke, you are out of place. You are off your design. By asking for prosperity, you are simply asking to be put back on your right path. So when you pray at night, add this clause, I ask for this, or something better, according to the divine design. This ensures that the money you receive comes with happiness, not sorrow. Now let us talk about the morning. The morning is the delivery dock. You have placed the order at night. The morning is when you look for the package, but so many people ruin the work of the night shift the moment they open their eyes. They wake up and the first thing they do is groan. They remember the problems. They grab the heavy sack of rocks and put it back on their shoulders. They say, oh no, another day of struggle. Do not do this. The moment your eyes open, before you touch your phone, before you get out of bed, you must claim the delivery. You must say, I give thanks for the miracles that have been prepared for me while I slept. I possess the land the Lord my God has given me. You must act as if the money is already there. This requires what Florence called active faith. Passive faith sits and waits. Active faith prepares. If you ask the night shift to bring you a new car, you should clean out your garage. If you ask the night shift to bring you a new client, you should have your contract ready on your desk. This preparation shows the subconscious that you are not bluffing. You really expect the result. There is a story of a woman who wanted a trip abroad but had no money. Every night she cast the burden. She thanked the universe for the trip. But during the day she did nothing. Nothing happened. Then she realized she was not showing active faith. She went out and bought a trunk. She packed her clothes. She acted as if she was leaving. Within a week, the money for the trip arrived from an unexpected gift. The night shift had done the work, but she had to sign for the delivery by buying the trunk. So tomorrow morning, after you have let the universe work all night, do something to show you believe it. Buy the better coffee. Wear the better suit. Walk with your head high. Do not walk like a beggar. Walk like a prince or a princess who knows their inheritance is in the bank. You might say, but I have debts. The creditors are calling. Florence would say, bless your creditors. When you resent your debt, you glue it to you. When you fear your creditors, you give them power over you. You make them giants. But there is no power in evil. The only power is God. At night, visualize your bills being stamped paid. See them dissolving into dust. Bless the people you owe. Say, I send them love and abundance, and I know that under grace, this debt is wiped clean. This practice of the night shift is not a one-time thing. It is a lifestyle. You brush your teeth every night to keep them clean. You must clear your mind every night to keep it prosperous. You would not go to sleep with mud on your face. Why go to sleep with mud on your soul? The mud of worry clogs the pores of your spirit. Wash it off. Let us be very practical. Tonight, get a piece of paper. Write down the things that are keeping you awake. Write down the specific amount of money you need. Write down the specific problem. Then, take that paper and tear it up. As you tear it, say, I tear up the reality of this problem. It is now in the hands of the infinite. Then, go to sleep. Do not think about it again. If the thought comes, say, no, I gave that to the manager. It is being handled. You will find that when you start doing this, your sleep will become deeper. You will wake up with more energy. You will stop grinding your teeth. But more importantly, you will start to see the long arm of God moving in your life. You will get the hunch. The hunch is the most common way the night shift delivers the goods. You will wake up with a sudden idea, call this person, go to this street, buy this book. It will seem random, it will seem small. But you must follow the hunch. The hunch is the breadcrumb trail to your gold. The reasoning mind will say, that is silly, why would I call him? The intuitive mind says, do it. Florence Scovel Shinn taught that there is a supply for every demand. The supply is already there. It existed before you even had the need. But you must make the demand. The demand is the order you place before you sleep. You cannot be vague. You cannot say, I want more money. You must say, I give thanks for the $10,000 that comes to me under grace, perfect and right. Be definite. The universe likes specificity, and remember the law of gratitude. Gratitude is the magnetic force. If you can be grateful for the money before you see it, you are bending reality. You are collapsing time. When you lie in bed and say thank you, thank you, thank you, you are signaling that it has already happened. The subconscious does not know the difference between a real event and a vividly imagined one. If you thank it for wealth, it believes you are wealthy, and it rushes to make the outer world match the inner world. Stop trying to figure it out. The how is not your business. The what is your business. The when is God's business. Your anxiety about the how is the only thing stopping the flow. You are standing on the hose. Step off the hose. Go to sleep. Tonight you have a choice. You can clock in for another shift of worry, tossing and turning, sweating and stressing, doing work that yields no results. Or you can clock out. You can hand the keys to the master. You can lay your head down in the soft assurance that the creator of the stars and the oceans is looking at your bank account and smiling, saying, I have this handled. The universe never tires. It never strikes. It never asks for a vacation. It wants to work for you. It delights in your prosperity. It is your Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. But you must receive the kingdom. You receive it by letting go. So, make the appointment tonight. Meet the divine in the boardroom of your dreams. Hand over the files. Hand over the ledgers. Say, here, you fix this. I am going to rest. And then, sleep the sleep of the just. Sleep the sleep of the wealthy. Sleep the sleep of the free. And when the sun rises, wake up and prepare to be amazed. Because while you were sleeping, the universe was moving heaven and earth to answer your prayer. The shift is starting now. Good night, and let the miracles begin. Are you tired? Not just physically, but spiritually tired of chasing money. You have been taught that you have to hustle 24/7 to be rich. That is a lie. The greatest spiritual teachers, like Florence Scovel Shinn, knew a secret. The most powerful work happens when you aren't working at all. There is a way to program your mind so that your sleep becomes your most productive time. There is a way to set the stage at 11 p.m. so that the curtain rises on a miracle at 7 a.m. Put your phone down, take a deep breath, and listen closely. We are about to change what happens in the dark so you can change what you see in the light. We live in a world that worships effort. We are told that if we are not exhausted, we are not trying hard enough. We are told that money is the result of sweat and struggle. But look around you. There are people working themselves into an early grave who have very little money, and there are people who seem to move through life with an easy grace, attracting wealth as naturally as a flower attracts a bee. What is the difference? The difference is not in the hours they work, but in the power they employ. The struggler uses only the conscious mind, the limited, mortal mind that sees obstacles and lacks. The master uses the subconscious mind, the infinite powerhouse that knows no limitation. And they know that the subconscious works best when the conscious mind is asleep. You must understand the anatomy of your own consciousness. Your conscious mind is the captain of the ship. It gives the orders, it looks at the charts, it worries about the weather. But the subconscious mind is the engine room. It is the power that actually moves the ship. The problem is that most people spend their waking hours running down to the engine room and screaming at the mechanics. They scream, "We are going to hit an iceberg," or "We are running out of fuel." The engine room, having no judgment of its own, simply obeys the command. It slows down the engines. It steers toward the iceberg. It manifests exactly what the captain fears, but at night the captain goes to sleep. The conscious mind, with all its doubts, fears, and anxieties, finally shuts down. This is the golden hour. This is the moment of opportunity. If you can give the right command to the engine room just before the captain falls asleep, the engine room will work all night long to bring you to your destination. It will steer the ship toward the golden harbor while you are completely unaware. This is what we mean by letting the universe work the night shift. Florence Scovel Shinn taught that the subconscious mind is a faithful servant, but it must be directed. It is like steam or electricity. It does not judge, it only acts. If you go to bed thinking about your debt, replaying the arguments you had, or dreading the morning, you are giving the servant a blueprint of disaster. You are essentially saying to the universe, "Here is my order for tomorrow. Please bring me more anxiety, more unpaid bills, and more frustration." And the universe, in its perfect obedience, delivered exactly that. To change your life, you must change your bedtime. You must treat the time before sleep as a sacred ritual. It is not just a time to collapse, it is a time to create. You must clear the slate. Imagine that your mind is a blackboard. All day long, you have been writing numbers on it, calculating your debts, writing down your worries. If you go to sleep with that writing on the board, the subconscious will study it all night. You must wipe the board clean. The first step is forgiveness. This is a financial law, not just a moral one. Resentment is a wall that blocks the flow of money. If you are angry at a boss who underpays you, or a client who didn't pay, or a family member who borrowed money, you are tied to them. You are tied to the lack they represent. You must cut the cord. Before you sleep, mentally review your day. If there is anyone who irritated you, anyone who cheated you, anyone who frightened you, you must release them. You say, "I forgive you. I release you. You have no power over me. I look to God for my supply, not to you." Once the board is clean, you must write the new program. This is where you cast the burden. A burden is simply a thought that has become too heavy for the conscious mind to carry. It is a knot of worry that you cannot untie. Florence taught that it is a violation of spiritual law to carry a burden. You are not designed to carry it. You are designed to give it to the superconscious mind, the Christ within, the Department of Divine Solutions. Imagine you are standing at the edge of a great chasm. On your back is a heavy sack of rocks labeled debt and fear. You cannot jump across the chasm with that sack. You will fall, but standing next to you is a giant, a divine helper, who can throw that sack across the chasm as if it were a feather. Casting the burden is the act of taking that sack off your back and handing it to the helper. You must do this every night. You must sit on the edge of your bed and say, "Infinite Spirit, I take this burden of financial lack, and I cast it upon the Christ within. I go free to be rich, happy, and successful." You must feel the weight leave you. This is the crucial part. If you say the words but still feel the tightness in your chest, you have not cast the burden. You are still holding onto the strap. You must let go. You must exhale. You must trust that the universe has a way of paying your bills that you cannot see. The reasoning mind is limited. It only knows the channels it has seen before. It thinks money can only come from a job or a loan. But the superconscious mind has channels that are infinite. It can bring money from the east, the west, the north, and the south. It can open doors that have been rusted shut for years. When you sleep, you enter the realm of the fourth dimension. In the waking world, we deal with time and space and obstacles. In the sleep world, we deal with energy and vibration. When you hand your request to the subconscious at night, it goes to work in this fourth dimension. It begins to pull the strings of destiny. It sends telepathic messages. Have you ever thought about someone and then they called you? That is telepathy. Your subconscious mind has a wireless connection to every other mind in the universe. If you need a client, your subconscious can wake up the right person in the middle of the night with the idea to hire you. If you need a specific sum of money, Your subconscious can guide you to the exact location where that money can be found. But it can only do this if you are not jamming the signal with fear. Fear is the static on the line. When you worry, you are jamming the broadcast. That is why sleep is so powerful. When you are asleep, you stop jamming the signal. Your fears are silenced. If you have set the dial to wealth before you fell asleep, the clear signal of wealth broadcasts out into the universe for 8 solid hours without interruption. This is 8 hours of pure, unadulterated manifestation work. This is why you can accomplish more in one night of spiritual sleep than in 10 years of anxious toil. But there is a trap. It is the 3 a.m. panic. Many of you know this visitor. You wake up in the dead of night. The house is silent. The world is dark. And suddenly your mind starts to race. You start doing the math. You start seeing the catastrophe. You feel the cold hand of fear gripping your heart. This is the testing ground. This is the chemicalization. Florence taught that when truth contacts error, there is a chemical reaction. When you start affirming wealth, the old poverty consciousness gets stirred up. It rises to the surface like scum on a pond. The 3 a.m. panic is just the scum rising. Do not be afraid of it. Do not identify with it. And most importantly, do not fight it. If you lie there and wrestle with the fear, you will lose. You will exhaust yourself. Instead, you must switch the channel. You must treat the fear as a lie. In the dark, whisper to yourself, this is an illusion. This is a shadow. Shadows have no power. God is the only power. Then begin to bless your situation. It sounds counterintuitive, but you must bless the empty bank account. You bless it because you know it is about to be filled. You say, I bless my supply. I bless the money that is on its way. I bless the perfect outcome. If you cannot sleep, do not toss and turn. Use the time. If you are awake, it means the energy is high. Use that high energy to pray. Not the begging kind of prayer, but the claiming kind of prayer. Lie flat on your back, open your hands, and say, I am wide open to the flow of abundance. I am ready to receive. I am a magnet for miracles. Turn the panic into praise. Thank the universe for the solution before you see it. Gratitude is the bridge. It bridges the gap between the invisible spiritual idea and the visible material manifestation. When you give thanks for the money before it arrives, you are tricking your subconscious. The subconscious cannot tell the difference between reality and a vivid imagination. If you are grateful, it assumes the money is already there. And because it assumes the money is there, it must create the money in the outer world to match your inner state. It is a law. It cannot fail. As you practice this, you will find that your dreams change. You might start dreaming of finding money or opening doors or swimming in clear water. These are signs. The subconscious is showing you that the tide is turning. But even if your dreams are chaotic, do not worry. The work is being done deep below the surface. Then comes the morning. The morning is the delivery time. You have placed your order at night. Now you must wake up expecting the package. But this is where most people ruin the work of the night shift. They wake up, the alarm goes off, and instantly they groan. They remember their problem. They pick up the heavy sack of rocks and strap it back onto their shoulders. They say, oh no, another day of struggle. You must not do this. You must guard your waking moment like a soldier guarding a fortress. The first thought you have upon waking sets the tone for the entire day. Before you even open your eyes, you must claim your good. You must catch the first thought and steer it toward abundance. Say to yourself, I wake up to a world of plenty. I possess the land the Lord my God has given me. Do not reach for your phone. Do not check your email. Do not check your bank balance. Not yet. Give yourself 5 minutes of golden silence. In that silence, imagine that the solution has arrived. Feel the relief. Feel the excitement. Smile. A smile sends a signal to your nervous system that you are safe. Then, get up and act the part. Florence Scovel Shinn was very big on acting the part. You cannot ask for wealth and then walk around like a pauper. You cannot ask for success and then dress like a failure. You must dress for the life you want, not the life you have. Wear your best clothes. Drink your coffee from the good cup. Walk with your head high. You are a child of the King. Act like it. This is called active faith. Passive faith sits and hopes. Active faith prepares. If you prayed for rain, you would carry an umbrella. If you prayed for money, you should prepare your wallet, clean out your purse, organize your bills, make space for the money to enter. When you prepare the vessel, the universe is compelled to fill it. Nature abhors a vacuum. If you create a vacuum of expectancy, the substance of wealth will rush in to fill it. You might ask, but how long will this take? I have been tired for so long, the time it takes depends on your ability to stay out of the way. The universe moves at the speed of your faith. If you cast the burden at night, but then snatch it back in the morning with worry, you are stopping the delivery truck. You are canceling the order. You must stand firm. This is what the Bible means when it says, having done all, stand still. Stand in your faith. Do not be moved by appearances. Your bank account might look empty today. That is just an appearance. It is a temporary arrangement of electrons. It can change in the blinking of an eye. One phone call, one email, one idea can change everything. You are waiting for that one break, and the night shift is working to bring it to you. Listen for the hunch. This is the most important part of the waking hours. When the subconscious has worked all night, it often delivers the solution in the form of a hunch. A hunch is a sudden, irrational urge to do something. It might be call your aunt, or go to that coffee shop, or buy that ticket. The reasoning mind will say, that makes no sense. Why would I do that? But you must obey the hunch. The hunch is the voice of your gold. It is the GPS of the divine design guiding you to your treasure. Florence tells the story of a woman who had a hunch to go to the dedication of a new hospital. She didn't want to go, she was tired and broke. But the hunch was strong. She went. And there she met an old friend who offered her a position that solved all her financial problems. If she had stayed home, she would have missed her good. The night shift had set up the meeting, but she had to walk to it. So look for the leads. Be alert. Life will start to speak to you. You will overhear conversations that contain the answer. You will see signs. Coincidences will happen. These are not accidents. These are the gears of the universe clicking into place, because you finally allow them to move. You do not need to struggle. You do not need to force doors open. If you have to force it, it is not your door. Your door will open easily. Your money will come under grace. That means it will come without a fight. It will come in a perfect way. It will not come through a lawsuit or an accident or a tragedy. It will come as a gift, a surprise, a blessing. But you must surrender the hustle. Surrender the belief that you are alone. You are not alone. You are backed by the treasury of the infinite. You have a staff of invisible workers who are waiting for your command, but they cannot hear you over the noise of your worry. Quiet down. Slow down. Breath. The air you breathe is the same substance as the money you want. It is all energy. You don't worry about running out of air. You breathe in and you breathe out. You trust the supply. You must learn to treat money the same way. Trust the financial atmosphere. Trust that as you exhale, spend, you create the vacuum to inhale, receive. Tonight, you have a choice. You can go to bed with your old friend anxiety. You can cuddle up with your debt. You can replay the movies of your failures. You can wake up tomorrow just as tired and just as poor as you are today. Or you can make a new choice. You can decide that tonight is the night you resign as the general manager of the universe. You can decide to hand in your resignation and let the CEO take over. You can decide that your sleep is going to be holy ground. So here is your assignment for tonight. When you get into bed, lie flat, close your eyes, visualize a great, heavy backpack falling off your shoulders. Hear it hit the floor with a thud. Feel your spine straighten. Feel your chest expand. And say these words, Infinite Spirit, I have tried to do this my way, and I am tired. I am now willing to let you do it your way. I cast the burden of my finances onto the divine. I let go of the struggle. I let go of the fear. I let go of the need to know how. I simply know that it is done. While I sleep, you work. I order peace, I order abundance, I order a miracle, and I promise to wake up and expect it. Then, turn over, drift into the velvet darkness, do not look back at the shore, sail out into the deep waters of sleep, trust the tide is turning, the night shift is on the clock, and they have never lost a package yet. Sleep well, my friend. Your wealth is being manufactured in the dock. Wake up ready to receive it. You have signed the contract with the universe, and you have handed over the heavy lifting to the night shift. Now we must talk about the most critical part of this entire process, which is how you maintain your position when the sun comes up. It is easy to have faith in the dark, when you are warm and safe in your bed, but the true test of your spiritual mettle comes when you step out into the cold light of day and face the appearances of the world. Florence Scovel Shinn called this the time of standing still. You must understand that when you cast the burden at night, you have set a massive spiritual machinery in motion. You have pulled the lever. The gears are turning. The invisible substance is coagulating, but there's often a time lag between the pulling of the lever and the arrival of the elevator. This is the gap where most people lose their demonstration. They wake up, they look at the world, and they say, nothing happened. They look at the mail and see another bill. They look at the phone and see no missed calls. And immediately their heart sinks. In that moment of sinking, they have severed the cord. They have canceled the order. They have told the universe, I was just kidding. I do not actually believe you are working for me. To wake up rich, you must wake up with the attitude of a person who has already received the news. Imagine you are waiting for a check to clear. You know it has been deposited. You know the banking system is working. You do not panic because the money is not available at 8 a.m. You wait until 9 a.m. You wait until noon. You have a quiet, confident knowing. This is the attitude you must cultivate regarding your divine supply. The money is deposited in the bank of the divine. It must clear. It is law. There is a powerful story in the Bible that Florence loved to quote about the walls of Jericho. The Israelites were told that to conquer the city, they had to march around the walls in silence for 6 days. They could not say a word. They could not complain. They could not shout. They just had to walk. This represents your time of non-resistance. This represents the days where you are doing the mental work, letting the night shift work, but seeing no physical change. The walls are still up. The debt is still there. The job is still gone. Most people give up on day 3. They say, I have been affirming wealth for 3 days and I am still broke. This is foolishness. But the Israelites kept walking. They marched in silence. This means they did not speak of lack. They did not gossip about how high the walls were. They did not analyze the stone. They simply kept moving. Then on the 7th day they were told to shout. They were told to shout before the walls fell down. They had to shout the shout of victory while looking at a solid wall of stone. And when they shouted, the walls collapsed. This is your instruction. You have given the work to the subconscious mind. Now during your waking hours, you are marching around your Jericho. Your Jericho is your mountain of bills. Your Jericho is your stubborn landlord. Your Jericho is your empty business. You must march around it in silence. Do not talk about your poverty to your friends. Do not complain about the economy to your spouse. Do not give voice to the appearance. Keep your secret with God. Let the night shift work. And then, when the moment is right, you give a shout of faith. You look at the problem and you laugh at it. You say, I do not see you. I see only God. I see only plenty. And in that moment of absolute conviction, the walls will fall. You must be careful of what Florence called the arm of flesh. The arm of flesh is your own limited intellect trying to force a solution. When you wake up after a night of spiritual work, you might feel a temptation to force things. You might want to frantically call people, or sell things you don't want to sell, or manipulate a situation to get quick cash. Stop, that is the old way. That is the way of the struggle. When you force things, you might get a result, but it will be a bitter result. It will come with strings attached. It will not be the divine design. The divine design unfolds like a flower. You do not pry a flower open with a crowbar. If you do, you destroy it. You water it, you give it sunlight, and it opens in its own time. Your wealth is the same. The night shift is the watering. Your faith is the sunlight. The opening is inevitable. Do not use the crowbar of fear. There is a distinct difference between urging and following. The reasoning mind urges. It pushes. The intuitive mind follows. It flows. You will know the difference by the way it feels in your solar plexus. If you feel a knot of anxiety, a frantic need to do something, that is fear. Sit down. Be still. Do nothing until you are calm. But if you feel a light, happy excitement, a sudden thought that says, I wonder what would happen if I did this, that is the hunch. That is the night shift handing you the baton. Run with it. We must also talk about the people around you. Sometimes the hardest part of waking up rich is dealing with the people who expect you to be poor. Your family, your friends, your co-workers, they are used to your old story. They expect you to complain. They expect you to be broke. They might even get angry if you stop playing the victim role. They might say you are being unrealistic. They might say you have to face reality. You must love them, but you must not listen to them. You are operating under a different set of laws. You are operating under the law of grace, while they are operating under the law of karma. Karma is hard work. Grace is miracles. Do not try to convert them. Do not try to explain the night shift to them. They will not understand, and their doubt will dilute your faith. Keep your business with the infinite. Silence is golden. The steam in the boiler creates power only when it is contained. If you let the steam out by talking too much, you lose the power to move the engine. Let us go deeper into the concept of the darkness. We have talked about the night, but there is also the metaphorical darkness. There comes a time in every demonstration where it seems like the lights have gone out completely. You have prayed, you have slept, you have affirmed, and suddenly, everything goes wrong. You lose the job. The car breaks down. The landlord gives you an eviction notice. This is the moment where 99% of people fold. They say this stuff doesn't work. I am cursed. But you're the 1%. You know the truth. You know that this is not the end, this is the chemicalization. Imagine you are renovating a house. You want a beautiful new kitchen. But before you can have the new kitchen, the old one has to be ripped out. There is dust. There is debris. There are pipes exposed. It looks like a disaster zone. If someone walked in who didn't know you were renovating, they would think you had destroyed your house. But you know that the destruction is necessary for the construction. When your life falls apart after you have prayed for wealth, rejoice. It means the universe is demolitioning your poverty. It is ripping out the old, rotten floorboards of your limitations. It is tearing down the walls of your small thinking. Do not cry over the debris. Stand in the middle of the dust and say, thank you, God, for the renovation. I know the new kitchen is coming. I know the new life is emerging. This takes courage. This takes what Florence called a nerve of steel. But you have that nerve. You have it because you are not alone. You have the night shift working behind the scenes. You must also be vigilant about the words you speak during the day. You cannot give the night shift a blueprint for a mansion and then spend the day building a shack with your words. Every time you say, it is too expensive, you are tearing down a brick of the mansion. Every time you say, I never get a break, you are smashing a window. Your words are the workers that build your reality during the day. You must become a master of your vocabulary. You must eliminate the words of lack from your dictionary. Do not say hard times. Say challenging times. Do not say I am broke. Say I am passing through a temporary lull. Do not say I can't. Say God can. This is not just wordplay. This is vibration. Your voice produces a vibration that shapes the ether. When you speak words of plenty, you are literally vibrating at the frequency of gold. You are tuning your radio to the station of abundance. And what if you have doubted? What if you have had a bad day? What if you spent the whole day worrying and complaining? Is it too late? Have you ruined it? No. The beautiful thing about the universe is that it lives in the eternal now. You can begin again at any moment. You can wipe the slate clean right now. Florence said, the game of life is a game of boomerangs. If you have thrown a boomerang of fear, you can catch it and throw a boomerang of faith. Tonight, you have another chance. The night shift is always hiring. The doors never close. Even if you fail today, even if you fell back into old habits, tonight you can reset. You can go to your bed, close your eyes, and say, Infinite Spirit, I forgive myself for my doubt. I wipe the slate clean. I start again. I place my order for abundance. And the universe, which holds no grudges, will say, Order received. And the work will begin again. You must build a momentum of faith. It is like pushing a merry-go-round. At first, it is heavy. You have to push hard. It moves slowly. But if you keep pushing, night after night, day after day, eventually it picks up speed. It starts to spin on its own. Eventually, you can jump on and enjoy the ride. You are in the pushing phase right now. Do not stop. Do not let the momentum die. Keep casting the burden, keep checking the locks, keep blessing the money. Soon, the momentum of your faith will become so strong that nothing can stop it. Wealth will flow to you in an avalanche. Remember that you are a channel. You are not the source. The bulb does not create the light. It simply lets the electricity flow through it. If the bulb is covered in mud, the light cannot shine. Your job is to keep the glass clean. You keep it clean by staying calm. You keep it clean by refusing to hate. You keep it clean by refusing to worry. The light of the infinite is always pushing to get through you. It wants to externalize as money, as health, as love. It is pushing against the walls of your mind right now. Let it out. As we come to the end of this session, I want you to make a covenant with yourself, a solemn promise. Promise yourself that you will no longer be a slave to the visible world. Promise yourself that you will no longer bow down to the idol of the bank balance. The bank balance is a reflection. It is not the reality. If you look in a mirror and see dirt on your face, you do not try to wash the mirror. You wash your face. The bank balance is the mirror. Your consciousness is your face. Wash your consciousness. Cleanse it with the soap of faith. Rinse it with the water of peace. And dry it with the towel of gratitude. Do this every night. Make your bed an altar. Make your sleep a prayer. There is a future waiting for you that is so much brighter than your past. There is a version of you that is debt-free. There is a version of you that is generous, that travels, that gives, that lives without the constant hum of anxiety in the background. That version of you is already alive in the divine mind. It is waiting for you to embody it. It is waiting for you to claim it. So, go forth. Do not look back. Remember Lot's wife. She looked back at the destruction of the old city, and she turned into a pillar of salt. Salt is a preservative. She was preserved in her past. Do not look back at your past mistakes. Do not look back at your old poverty. Look forward. Look at the horizon. The sun is rising. The ship is coming in. Tonight, when you lay your head down, do it with a sense of finality. Do it with the attitude of a judge bringing down the gavel, case closed. The verdict is wealth. The sentence is freedom. Let the stars be your witnesses. Let the silence of the night be your comfort. You are held in the arms of an intelligence that spun the galaxies. Do you really think it cannot handle your rent? Do you really think it cannot handle your credit card bill? It is child's play for the divine. But you must let go of the toy so the parent can fix it. Release. Relax. Receive. The struggle is over. The night shift has begun, and as you drift into the great unknown of sleep, know that you are safe. You are loved, and you are inevitably, undeniably destined to be rich. It is done. It is done. It is done.